Gordon about an 18-footer straight away, not good, and the rebound comes out of Durant. Suns push it up to Booker. Booker, a three-pointer, no good. Long rebound, saved by Durant. Durant takes it in the lane. In the corner, Craig, his three. Shazam!
Round 1 of the NBA playoffs have officially concluded as Katie and D-Book lead your Phoenix Suns past the LA Clippers and are now fully engaged in battle with the Joker and his Denver Nuggets in round 2. The only real question on the table is why is that voice?
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing.
The voice.
Wham, bam, slam.
The one and only, always and forever voice of the Phoenix Suns, an unquestioned Suns legend of 51 seasons, not permitted courtside to witness his team up close and personal in his penultimate goodbye run as the longest-running announcer in NBA history, when he's on record as hating being high up in the arenas.
And I hate to say this because we're in areas where we can't see the floor, we can't see the three-point area, that I finally decided I don't want to be remembered by fans and allow them to say, what's wrong with McCoy? Doesn't he know who shot the three-point shot?
Out it comes down to Baisley. Baisley to over in the corner to Ross to, let's see, Torrey Craig, and he hits the three. Shazam! Had to check it to make sure it was Torrey Craig in that far corner, but he knocked down the trio for the Suns. Here's a drive now by Highland.
Courtside as recently as last year's playoff run, in addition to 50 previous seasons courtside, since 1972. And as he literally turns 90 years old. You saw the halftime honor. You got your limited edition Shazam IPA all snuggled up tight in your Rally the Valley koozie. You already know and love the Phoenix Suns legend that is Al McCoy, although if you are unfamiliar with his legend, there's another, probably better video on the subject already on the channel. Let's talk this 90-year-old icon and why he deserves to have the best seat in the house.
Thank you for allowing me to have the best seat in the house to broadcast these games.
For the last chance he ever has to collect that ring and get to lay his hands on that sweet, sweet Larry O'Brien. But right now, the only way Al's getting to rub this is if D-Book's willing to walk 40 rows back toward the ceiling to give it to him after clocking in 48 minutes himself.
Thank you for allowing me to have the best seat in the house to broadcast these games.
That clip was actually when he had the best seat in the house, by the way. His 2017 Ring of Honor induction. Al loves it courtside. He goes on and on in his book, and in this interview, and that interview, and this one over here.
Is that something you miss, being on the road and the...
Well, it's interesting. On the road games, I became concerned several years ago when the league allowed the arenas to move our broadcast locations to areas where we could not even see the full court. We couldn't see where the three-point shots were coming from. We were way up high. So I became a little more disenchanted with doing road games.
And has been on the record countless occasions on the subject. Media doesn't want to report this and would rather spin it.
The best vantage point in the house.
But that's okay. I mean, I got nothing but love for my Suns fam. Because now we all know it's for sure Al's last ride, right? So why not make this guy happy? I mean, it was a spot for 50 years that the TV guys apparently kind of politicked their way back into, at least according to this comment on my previous video, saying, quote, the other broadcasters complained to the league that they were not allowed to be near the court and it wasn't a Suns decision. Although Suns TV doesn't seem to be closer to the court when they're in other arenas, just in Phoenix, as you can see here at the Clippers game. But that's fine. All's fair in love, basketball, and an 89-year-old's 50-year tenured arena seat and official game day spot. Right?
That's just a joke.
I'm Lindsay Smith here in the legendary Al McCoy game day spot. I'm keeping his seat warm for him. And
the one and only Devin Booker. We're way up here on top, Book.
I see you.
Good to see you.
What's up, Al?
All right, CP3, we're way up here in the rafters.
Because you might be thinking as a fan, okay, what else can we really do? I mean, I already cased them Shazam IPAs, and I mean round 2. But that's exactly what I'm saying. Forget the controversy over the spot, whose spot, which spot, who can really say whose spot it was. I mean, with AI deepfake technology, this could be anybody's spot we're looking at. I could have cooked this up in the week leading up to the playoffs. The spot doesn't even matter anymore. That's right, because Al's spot, the TV guy's spot, whatever we call the spot, it's completely free starting round 2. Local TV doesn't even cover round 2 and beyond. So both local Phoenix TV and the away TV announcer's spot will be empty. We're talking 8 seats here, people. But hold on, don't run a party like it's that 2017 Ring of Honor induction ceremony just yet, because this spot is not guaranteed to go to our much celebrated and beloved legend, even though you might be thinking, who else should it go to? I mean, double the space Al McCoy needs will be available. But during the 10 national games this season that weren't broadcast on Bally Sports, they did not let Al McCoy down on those games. And they didn't just put Al in those away announcer spots either.
That's just a joke.
And although the aforementioned comments in the last video allege this is a league TV broadcasters thing, again, look up high in the arena here in LA. The Suns are high up in the arena. And if you watch all the different arenas in the playoffs, they all have different desk areas. Look here in New York, all these desks mashed to the bottom of the screen. Last night on TV, Kevin Harlan shared a desk on the bottom of the screen with other commentators. Each individual location in the league sets its own individual broadcast location and individual broadcast areas. So what can we do now with round 2 on the horizon to restore Al McCoy to his beloved spot of 50 seasons? The spot he's only been absent from during NBA health and safety protocols and this season, not coincidentally, his final season. Well, we could tweet the Suns, write the Suns, tweet Matt Ishbia, pelt the media, and I emphasize Twitter because the Suns are still muting all their respective YouTube channels on this respective subject. This guy on Reddit started a petition. I don't know. Anything, everything. Hit me up with more suggestions in the comments. Because although Matt Ishbia finally acknowledged Al McCoy, much to the delight of Suns fans everywhere.
I'm honored to be here with you, but I got some stories to share about Al, but I've only been here a couple months, so I'm honored to let the original owner, Mr. Jerry Colangelo, the legend out here in Phoenix, talk a little about Al.
He says it himself, right? He's only 2 months on the job. 2 months of interaction with Al. Maybe he just doesn't know Al's feelings on the spot. Maybe he didn't know Al already had the spot for 50 seasons. Not to mention Al McCoy is turning 90. And yeah, I hope we can celebrate that with a W too. Maybe a statue as well. But I emphasize the age of 90 because they got this guy having to walk across the entire arena, even for his own honor ceremony.
5:48 until halftime, 39-34. Do want to mention that here in a few minutes, I'm going to have to take a little leave, turn things over to John and Tim.
Where are you going, Al?
Well, they tell me I've got to go down on the floor for a few minutes, so I'll have to turn it over here to you guys. All right, here it's Wainwright from the corner missing. Lindale will get the rebound, and we'll turn it over to John here to jump in here with a little over 3.5 minutes remaining in the half.
All right, Al, thank you, and safe travels to you on your way down to the floor to be honored.
Look, I worked in assisted living for many years. This is quite ridiculous. To couch my scathing outrage at maybe the greatest Phoenix Sun in history now having to walk an obstacle course in the twilight of his career. Yeah.
We got some great news for you. The Hall of Famer Al McCoy has made his way back upstairs after quite a ceremony.
Cam Cox. You all remember Cam from the last video.
You have the best vantage point in the house.
Well, I guess now this video too. He sent out a fantastic tweet, because this channel is a living, breathing, ongoing pursuit for the facts in the world of Al McCoy. That in this section of the video, I was all set to issue a formal apology and formal retraction after spreading apparent misinformation on the internet after 12 News' Cam Cox tweeted Al McCoy was in fact taking the elevators up and down the arena and not the stairs, as I had previously reported. Then the Arizona Republic and azcentral.com dropped this photo, a photo gallery, and accompanying article as companion pieces, successfully knocking Cam Cox out of round 1 of the 2023 Journalistic Integrity Playoffs. But Mr. Cox shouldn't feel bad about trying to gaslight both Al McCoy and the fans, because the AZ Central article shows where the often misspoken legend that is Al McCoy supposedly wanting to be moved up top came from way up top, with Suns spokesperson Cole Mickelson maintaining to the Arizona Republic it was all Al McCoy's decision, while Al McCoy himself is quoted right after saying he only agreed to the move after it was suggested to him by the team. With Al McCoy quoted, "They asked me if I would accept that. I guess if I would have complained strongly enough, they probably would have moved me anyway." Echoing Al's recollection of his removal from television by the Suns 20 years ago as recounted in his book, when then general manager Brian Colangelo suggested the team needed a younger look and asked Al if he would consider moving exclusively to radio. He also talks about how there's no restrooms up top, while the spokesperson for the Suns asserts arena security allegedly help Al get up and down the stairs. Quickly, the article emphasizes, to use the downstairs restroom areas in the very back of the press center that bears his very name. No comment written on Al's being held back from getting down to wish Devin Booker a happy birthday earlier this season.
Book, how you doing, pal?
I'm good. How you feeling?
Listen, I have to tell you, I tried to get in to wish you a happy birthday the other night, and they wouldn't let me break through to get in to see you to help you blow out the candles, but a belated happy birthday anyway.
I appreciate that, Al. Much love to you. Much love to you. We'll do a party next year.
But I do now understand where Cam got confused on how Al gets to and from his new spot high in the sky, as on special arena occasions when Al gets called down to the floor.
They tell me I've got to go down on the floor for a few minutes.
He does seem to make occasional use of an elevator, where he does occasionally take the side tunnel on his way back up. Here is some footage of him after the 12 minutes they let him back on the floor to call the game for TV the other week.
Thanks so much for letting me slide in and have a little fun with you here in the second quarter. Have fun in the second half, all right?
You do the same over on the radio side.
He's taking the side tunnel all the way to the side there, taking the elevator up in the corner of the map here, popping up upstairs, and then walking the long half circle back around the arena to his spot. And there's actually like 6 steps here to get to this nook, even though Cam says there's no staircases involved. And this is actually Al McCoy's longtime audio engineer, Walt Ellis, helping him wade through the packed halftime crowd outside Section 102 right here. Not any supposed arena security, according to any supposed Sun spokesperson. As always, Al McCoy said it best.
Well, listen, getting old's not for sissies. We know that.
So why not let him back where he wants to be? I mean, do any of us really want Al McCoy all the way up here? So let's let it be known. The spots are empty starting in round 2 anyway, and although I'm still thirsting for Matt Ishbia to break me off a piece of his Al stories,
I got some stories to share about Al, but
I'm happy he finally acknowledged Al since the last video was posted, and I'm sure all of us would be even happier settling for this legend to finish his career where he wants to be, in the spot he was for 50 seasons, and the spot where a 90-year-old man doesn't have to walk 40 rows back toward the ceiling. And he's still meeting with his fellow announcer homies before the game, as mentioned earlier in the month.
The great Al McCoy, year 51, one of the great broadcasters in the history of the NBA.
I was just going to say, one of the class gentlemen always has a good word to say, always makes his way over to the table.
Shazam, that is what the legendary voice of the Phoenix Suns says. One of the great gentlemen in this business, not just the broadcasting business.
Always comes over and visits with us before the game.
Here it is.
Here he is taking snapshots with fans after arriving in the arena and going to the floor to chill with his announcer buddies. So come on, this is a lot of unnecessary roaming around the arena for this 90-year-old man. Why can't he just sit 12 feet from where this photo was taken like he used to? Where he liked to sit down and get prepared hours before his broadcasts, before all the other announcers had arrived, and sit down and chat with all the different lives he'd encountered on the sidelines in the passage of time that had helped create the modern NBA as we know it. It's got to be harder for a 90-year-old man to do that from all the way up here. But he's trying his very best to make that still happen in his final run. The man who said in an interview with Newsweek, verbatim in the article, quote, "I'm living proof that dreams do come true," says McCoy, who missed one New Year's Eve game in 2005 and a few before the passing of his wife of 54 years, Georgia, in 2012. His final quote, "Why would I want the night off?" This man barely missed a game before this year, and although people may say Al's been on record that he would have retired last year, the fact is he did not retire last year, and has flirted with retirement many times in the past, and broke from his longtime tradition of waiting until the off-season to decide to return this year, for whatever those reasons may be. All we know for sure is he prefers to be courtside. It's something all announcers are on record as valuing as recent as your regularly televised NBA playoff TV broadcast.
Mark Jones courtside along with Doris Burke. Let's check in courtside with Malika.
Rejoined by the Hall of Famer Ann Myers-Drysdale, courtside to watch this game.
All the announcers value that courtside spot. We know Al values that courtside spot that he had up until a year ago when he was swapped with TV, who used to be up top.
I'm speaking for every player that has came through this organization. There's no better feeling than after a home game win, getting to speak to you courtside.
Well, round 2 is almost over, and the Suns won't even have local TV coverage. We need Al for the long haul this season more than ever. Suns fans, light the beam. I'm talking the beam of social media shoutouts, charging our man like a Goku spirit bomb for this final run with KD, Booker, CP, Ayton, and other fellas for that elusive chip. Let's hulk this man up, people, because he deserves for us to stand up for him, because we need to truly honor all he's given us with the spot he wants to be and the comfort he deserves, and what might not only be the culmination of Al McCoy's career, but the Phoenix Suns' playoff dreams to this point period.
His pass picked off by Booker. Booker with the steal, all alone, comes down for a whammo.
Like or subscribe for more. Check the description for more resources. Thank you.
So long for now.